Hey guys, Leon Levi here. Honestly, nothing takes me back like firing up the NES after school and brawling through those classic fighting games. Before online arenas and flashy 3D graphics, it was just me, my controller, and pixelated punches that felt so real at the time. From cheap kicks that made me rage to awesome combos that made me feel like a champ. These old school fighters shaped how I see games today. In this video, I'm counting down my top 10 classic NES fighting games. In the meantime, I need you guys to comment your favorite fighting game on the NES that others can surely give a try. Yie Ar Kung-Fu, 1985. When I got home from school and turned on my NES, Yie Ar Kung-Fu felt like my first real fighting game. I played as one fighter and had to beat a bunch of strange opponents, each with their own weapons and moves. One guy throws stars, another has a chain, someone else has a spear. I couldn't just mash buttons. I had to move around, time my jump kicks, and learn how each enemy behaved. The graphics are simple, but the bright colors and clear characters make it easy to see what's going on. It's not a deep combo game like modern fighters, but that's the charm. Fights are fast, and a few mistakes can cost you everything. People remember it as one of the early steps toward modern fighting games. If you're a retro fan, you should play it to feel how tough and pure old school one-on-one fighting used to be. Urban Champion, 1984. So, Urban Champion was like my I just want to mess around game after school. It's super simple. Two guys are fighting on a city street, and the whole goal is to punch the other guy until he falls into a manhole. You get a light punch, a strong punch, and a basic block. That's it. But somehow, it's still fun. You slowly push your opponent back step by step, trying not to get knocked back yourself. The city feels funny and alive. Neighbors drop flower pots on your head, and a police car will sometimes show up and break up the fight, forcing you both to move on. A lot of people say it's shallow, and yeah, it's not a complex game. But if you like very simple, old-school fighting with a silly, cartoon feel, this is worth a try. It's like a tiny snapshot of how early Nintendo experimented with street fighting. Karate Champ, 1986. Karate Champ was the game that made me slow down and actually think. When I played it after school, it didn't feel like a button-mashing game at all. It felt like a strict karate class on a cartridge. Instead of a long health bar, matches are decided by points. One clean hit can earn a point. The action stops, and then you reset and go again. The controls can feel strange at first, because different directions and buttons give you different moves. But when you get used to it, landing a good hit feels amazing. The visuals are simple. Two fighters in red and white uniforms, judges with flags, and a few different backgrounds for tournaments. People still talk about Karate Champ as an early, important fighting game that focused on timing and precision. If you like the idea of a more realistic, patient style of fighting, this one is definitely worth playing. Kung Fu, 1987. Okay, this game was one of my favorites. I'd come home, hit start, and walk down that long hallway, throwing punches and kicks at anything that moved. It's based on the arcade game Kung Fu Master, and it keeps things very simple. You walk forward, enemies rush you, some try to grab you, some throw knives, and you react as fast as you can. You don't need to memorize special moves. You just need good timing and quick reflexes. The graphics are basic but clear. The backgrounds are flat, the enemies stand out, and each boss at the end of a floor has their own little twist. People remember Kung Fu as one of the first great beat-em-ups on a home console. If you enjoy straightforward action, where the fun comes from surviving wave after wave, this is still a really fun game to go back to. WWF WrestleMania, 1989. As a kid who loved wrestling, WWF WrestleMania on NES felt huge. After school, I'd turn it on, and suddenly I was controlling the same wrestlers I watched on TV. The game was made by Rare and published by Acclaim, and it lets you pick famous WWF stars from the late 80s. The gameplay is simple. Basic punches, kicks, and some signature style moves. But back then, it felt like a big deal. The characters look chunky, but you can tell who they are, and the music gives it that big show vibe. It doesn't play like modern wrestling games, and it can feel clunky, but it still has a lot of charm. People see it as a nostalgic classic more than a deep wrestling sim. If you're into old school wrestling, this game is worth playing just to relive that era and feel like you're stepping into the ring yourself. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, 1993. Now this one is my personal favorite. Ninja Turtles in a proper fighting game. After school, I'd pop in Tournament Fighters and jump straight into battles with the Turtles and other characters from their world. This time, it wasn't a platformer. It was a one-on-one fighter with special moves, projectiles, and different fighting styles for each character. You actually have to learn inputs and timing, just like other fighters from the early 90s. The graphics are colorful and bold, with stages that look like they came right out of the TNMT universe. Fans often see this game as a hidden gem, especially on the more powerful systems, but even on Nintendo, it's impressive for what it tries to do. If you love both retro fighting games and the Ninja Turtles, this is a must-play. It lets you live out those "who would win in a fight" arguments from childhood. River City Ransom, 1989. River City Ransom always felt like more than just a beat-em-up to me. After school, I'd throw it on, and suddenly I was wandering a whole city, not just walking down one straight level. You play as a high school kid, punching and kicking gangs in alleys, streets, and schools. When enemies drop money, you can pick it up and head to shops to buy food, books, and items that make you stronger. That mix of fighting and the light RPG elements made it feel really special. The art style is funny and cute, with big-headed characters and over-the-top reactions when you knock someone out. People still praise this game for being ahead of its time and for how fun the co-op mode is. If you like retro games that mix action, humor, and a bit of character growth, River City Ransom is one of the best experiences you can have. Double Dragon, 1988. This was the game that made me feel like I was in an 80s action movie. I'd turn it on after school and instantly be walking through rough streets, taking on gangs to save a kidnapped girl. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you punch, kick, use elbows and knees, and even grab weapons like bats and whips. The NES version isn't as smooth as the arcade, but it still has that gritty, tough atmosphere. The levels take you through alleys, factories, and rooftops, and each area feels dangerous. The moves, especially the elbow attack, became legendary among kids trying to master the game. People remember Double Dragon as one of the key games that helped define home beat-em-ups. If you want to feel that classic, two fighters against the whole city energy, this is a game you absolutely need to play. Best of the Best Championship Karate, 1992. Best of the Best Championship Karate was the game that I played when I wanted something more serious and slower. It doesn't feel like a wild arcade brawler. It feels more like a real karate tournament. You pick a fighter and step into one-on-one matches where spacing and timing matter more than speed. The game is slower, but that's on purpose. You have to watch your opponent, choose your move carefully, and commit at the right moment. The visuals aim for a realistic look for the time, with human-shaped fighters and simple arenas that keep your focus on the match. People often remember this game for having more depth than many other fighting games on older systems. If you like the idea of a grounded martial arts game where every strike feels important, this is a really interesting NES title to go back to and learn. Mighty Final Fight, 1993. Whenever I wanted something satisfying, Mighty Final Fight was my go-to pick. It takes the serious arcade game Final Fight and turns everyone into cute, big-headed versions of themselves. After school, this was perfect when I wanted something fun but still challenging. You pick one of the heroes and fight your way through the city, punching, kicking, and throwing enemies. What makes it stand out is that you can level up your character and unlock stronger moves, which is rare for many NES brawlers. The graphics are full of personality, with colorful stages and silly animations that make the whole game feel like a cartoon. People see Mighty Final Fight as a hidden gem that showed how much the NES could still do late in its life. If you enjoy beat-em-ups with both humor and solid gameplay, this is definitely a game you should check out. And that's all for this video, everyone! Wrapping up these classic NES fighting gems took me right back to those after-school days. Whether you played one of these or all 10, I hope this trip down memory lane hit that nostalgia sweet spot. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which NES fighter you remember the most.